Several months ago, on the planet Bizerk, Rita and Alpha One were searching for the being they had promised Dark Spectre to be a vessel. Incredibly, this is the body of Zordon, the same one we have known all our lives, and Alpha One is confused since Rita had told him that she had locked him in time. She explains to him that the spell she had cast that day separated Zordon's body, and a friend of hers searched for that body to keep it. She also explains that this body is alive, but only has instincts, like a trophy ready to be used, and she is going to put it to good use. Then, she breaks the ice to free Zordon's body and begins to tell him that his existence has the sole purpose of being the vessel of a very powerful being. In the meantime, she is going to turn him into one of the most powerful beings in the universe and then fill him with dark magic. Now on planet Earth, everyone is under attack by Rita's army, and we can see that Zordon's body, called Vessel, is there too. This army is very powerful, and they are destroying the whole Earth mercilessly. Despite this, we can see that Vessel is still walking with a steady course and is ignoring everything that is happening around him. In the battle, we can see that there are several Rangers fighting against Matt, who is also using the Zord. Finally, we can see what fate Vessel was looking for, and somehow, he found it. This powerful being has found a Power Rangers command center, which is supposedly impossible to enter without a power coin. Despite that, this powerful villain manages to open the doors of the command center easily and enters as if he were a guest. Inside the command center, we can see that there is Zordon, Alpha 5, Adam and Rocky. Zordon begins to ask the Rangers for an answer since they had not had any communication, and they tell him that he had to fix everything. At that moment, Adam realizes something unexpected. Vessel had managed to get in and they couldn't believe it. They obviously still don't know that this is Zordon's body, so Vessel removes the protection he has on his face, and the Rangers can't believe what they are seeing. The battle begins and Vessel quickly attacks the Rangers, but they defend themselves with blasters. Then, they start attacking with their weapons, but Vessel is very powerful and defeats them both easily. Vessel quickly puts his hand inside Alpha 5 to deactivate it with a single blow. After this, Vessel turns to look at Zordon, something that no one was able to prevent him in all this journey, to reach the maximum leader and possibly the missing part of his body. Zordon is very upset and starts asking him a lot of questions, but we can see that Vessel is very calm and walks towards him. Then he simply touches Zordon's energy tube and they enter into a kind of mind meld, just as happened with Lord Zed when he was wounded. They both have separate bodies and are floating in space. Vessel begins to speak for the first time after a long time and says that he is what Zordon could not be. Zordon is obviously very confused and doesn't know how to begin to understand this whole situation. He starts to go over everything Rita did, so he knows he was right in what he thought. He told Vessel that Rita separated him from his body and then locked him up. In addition to this, he also used that whole situation to turn it around and use it to his advantage now. He is now planning to use his body to give it to Dark Spectre. All these claims of Zordon were confirmed by Vessel, who also told Zordon that despite all of this, the emptiness gnaws at him and he is looking for a better host that will suit this body. Zordon starts yelling at him very angrily and tells him that after invading his home, hurting his Rangers and forcing him into that shared consciousness, he basically took his purpose and perverted it. Vessel tries to make it clear to Zordon that the Rangers are fine and that he didn't kill them. This is the first sign that Vessel really is different and is out for redemption. Zordon also tries to tell him that while he was adrift, helpless and twisted in time, he was with a steady body. His own body infused with the darkest magic to give to the worst villain. Vessel tells him he wasn't given a choice, but Zordon tells him he wasn't given a choice either. Then Vessel realizes that in this shared consciousness he doesn't need Zordon's permission to access any thought and any emotion, so he begins to travel. He first begins by traveling back to the first Ranger team, which was led by Grace, and several died in that battle against a green Pisco Ranger. Zordon tries to tell everything that happened, but Vessel tells him that Alpha 1 had already told him and that he also told him that Zordon is a leader who sacrifices those in his care. Zordon tries to tell him that that was never his intention and that if he could take his place he would have. Vessel tells him that those are his words, but his inaction has cost many more lives. Vessel takes Zordon to an old battle he had against Rita, and at that time he was accompanied by Zardes. In this battle Zordon had the opportunity to end Rita's life, but he chose not to as he had always thought that everyone can redeem themselves. Vessel tries to question him about this thought of redemption after seeing everything that has happened, and Zordon replies that no one is far from redemption, even him. After this, Vessel takes him back to the moment when the emissaries told him that he will never enter the Morphin grid and then threw him back. Vessel begins to question him about his beliefs since after he sacrificed everything, this is how he was paid. He also tells him that he is weak, useless, a ghost in a tube, and that despite having a lot of power he has wasted it by putting his faith in others. He then makes her an offer and tells her to take his body so they can become one person again. A body full of Morphin grid power which he can reclaim and fix all the mistakes. Despite this, Zordon rejects her offer, telling her that no matter how much he wants to have a body again, he can feel that this body is filled with Rita's dark magic, so he must find his own way. This rejection makes Vessel very angry, who tells Zordon that after offering him a body full of power to save the universe he has sacrificed so much for, so now he's going to say no. Zordon tells him that he can say no too, even he doesn't have to decide between Dark Spectre, Rita, or even himself. Then, Vessel tries to go to Zordon and tells him that this is the path he is going to choose. Vessel has fucked his body with Zordon. Then, the shared consciousness ends, and he returns to the real world thinking it's all over, but inside him Zordon tells him it's not. Vessel falls to his knees as Zordon tells him that he made his decision, but I made mine. Zordon begins to show him many positive thoughts and tells him that he accepts that he is weak, but he manages to find his strength in those people and will not hesitate no matter the cost. For all that evil that consumes us, there is always hope, redemption, good, and he will always choose that. Then, Vessel starts to scream as he can't handle all those words Zordon is saying to him, and both bodies separate again. Now we can see a very different Vessel, and Zordon tells him that now he is free and can choose his own way wisely. At the end Zordon tells him, "May the power protect you."